Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of a new series on this channel entitled Pilot Obscurities. In this series, we'll be taking a look at both known and some unknown pilots for various TV shows in an attempt to find out if they are better or worse than what would come in their full-blown series. With all that said, let's talk about Jimmy Neutron.
3, 2, 1.
Got a blast!
For those unaware, Jimmy Neutron was the brainchild of John A. Davis, and this particular series was based after the 2001 film of the same name. It ran for about 4 years on Nickelodeon and got a less successful spin-off series 8 years later based after the character of Sheen. The show was a brilliant blend of comedy, science fiction, and was arguably my favorite Nicktoon that was on at the time. Now, what you might not know is that the aforementioned film wasn't the first time the characters were seen. In fact, today's pilot, named Runaway Rocket Boy, involved Jimmy, after being grounded from his parents, testing a rocket ship he's invented, and through a series of strange circumstances, he stumbles upon a Yokian plot to conquer Earth. Sound familiar? That's because it's very similar to the plot of the feature film. However, this pilot was originally supposed to air as a short on Kablam, but the show got cancelled before the episode even aired. It wasn't seen by the general public until Nickelodeon released it as a bonus feature on the Confusion Fusion DVD. Since it only runs about 14 minutes, a lot of the story elements from the film aren't present here. Some elements cut include the parents actually getting abducted from Earth, the kids converting the amusement park rides to rocket vehicles, and the climax with the giant chicken monster, Pultra, just to name a few. So, what was different about the series during this time frame? Well, to start with, certain characters are seen wearing different clothing, like Jimmy in its red striped shirt, for example. The city of Retroville also looked completely different as well. In the series, Retroville was a much smaller suburban neighborhood. However, in this short, Retroville seems to have a thriving city area almost immediately following the suburban one, with much taller buildings which resembled much more of a city like Manhattan. But probably the most dramatic difference between the short and the show had to be the design of Jimmy's apparently only friend, since she didn't yet appear at this time, Carl Weezer. Here, Carl actually had pupils instead of the 2 dots for eyes, and he wasn't as plump as we would later come to know him. He also tends to look a little dissatisfied with what he's doing, rolling his eyes and whatnot. This may be due to the animation, as it isn't particularly astonishing, with Carl probably being the worst out of them all. However, I contend that, considering this was produced in the late 90s, when CG animation was just starting to pick up steam, it's not something to really complain about. And for what they were trying to accomplish story-wise, I'm surprised with what they were able to pull off visually. However, many things seen in this short would also carry over into the feature film and subsequent series. Some notable things include the virtual reality laser toothbrush, using a plucked hair to get into Jimmy's lab, and even some of the movie's memorable lines.
Oh, by the way, Mom says you're grounded. Sorry!
Probably the most important thing, though, is that many of the voice actors in this short did end up voicing their characters in the film and series, like Rob Paulsen as Carl Weezer, for example. So, ultimately, does this short live up to what would follow? I'd have to say no. The short visually looks a little underwhelming, the animation can be a bit dodgy at moments, and the ending is very anticlimactic. The movie that would follow just does the short's plot better. You feel real emotion between Jimmy and his parents and want him to rescue them. The movie had vast worlds you explored, and each felt alive and thriving, and this, well, it just doesn't have the same charm. Even the series has better animation, better voice acting, and better storytelling. It just does everything better than this short. And yes, I know that it was a testing ground. I'm not saying it's bad because of that. In fact, without the short, I doubt we would have gotten a movie and a series at all. So while I respect it for that, when you compare it to everything else from this franchise, it just doesn't stack up. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really did put a lot of work into this because I wanted to make sure that it was good, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below of a pilot that you would maybe like to see me cover. With this series, actually, it doesn't have to particularly be animation, though I would prefer that, but I will do live action if I think it's suitable. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, because it really does help me out a lot and knows that you like this kind of content and you would like to see more of it. And you're going to see two links right now. One is for the first episode of every Disney animated movie reviewed, which was Snow White, and the other is for the first episode of my Walt Disney World favorite attractions series, which was the Magic Kingdom. So yeah, until next time, guys, bye.